Welcome to The Last Calm Word. Let's get started with today's story. I remember the restaurant clearly because that was the night I stopped pretending. It was a quiet place downtown, nothing fancy, just dim lights, low music, and people minding their own business. Julia sat across from me, scrolling through her phone like I was not even there. Her glass of wine sat untouched. Mine was already empty. "You were not even trying anymore," I said. She did not look up. "Trying what?" "This," I said, tapping the table. "Us." She finally lifted her eyes, annoyed more than anything. "Dylan, not everything is a problem. You always do this." "No," I said calmly. "I started noticing things." "That is different." She smirked. "Here we go." I leaned back in my chair. "Last month you were in Miami. Before that, Denver. Always work, always last minute. You do not even bother making it believable anymore." She picked up her glass, took a slow sip, then set it down. "I do not have to explain my schedule to you like I am on probation. You are married," I said. "That comes with basic explanations." She laughed under her breath. "You are starting to sound insecure." That word again. She liked using it whenever she did not have a real answer. I nodded once. "And you are starting to sound predictable." That got her attention. Her eyes sharpened. "Careful," she said. "You are crossing a line." I held her gaze. "No, I am finally seeing it." For a few seconds, neither of us spoke. Then she grabbed her bag. "I am not doing this tonight," she said, standing up. "I have an early morning." "Another trip?" I asked. She did not answer. Just walked out. I did not chase her, did not call after her. I paid the bill, finished my drink, and left. That was 3 days before the message. I was at home when it came in. Just a buzz on the counter while I was making coffee. I wiped my hands and picked up the phone. It was her. I opened the message. "I am in Vegas for a week. Do not wait up." That was it. No greeting, no explanation, nothing else. I stared at it for a moment, then read it again. Then I typed back, steady, no hesitation. "Have fun with him. The divorce papers are ready." I hit send, blocked her number, and set the phone down. For the first time in a long time, the silence in the house felt right. I did not feel angry. I felt done. The first call came 10 minutes later. Unknown number. I let it ring. Then another. Different number. Same timing. Same urgency. I picked up on the third one. "What the hell are you doing?" Julia's voice came through fast, tight. "Why am I blocked?" "You are not blocked," I said. "You are just not someone I talk to anymore." Silence for half a second. "Dylan, stop acting like this," she said. "It is embarrassing." "What is embarrassing is you being in Vegas with another man and thinking I would not notice." "You do not know that," she snapped. "I do not need proof anymore." She exhaled sharply. "You always jump to the worst conclusion." "No," I said. "I just stopped ignoring the obvious." Her tone shifted softer now. "You are overreacting. I needed space." "That is all this is. You needed a week in Vegas to find space." I asked. "You could have walked outside. Why are you being like this?" She said, frustration creeping in. "We can talk when I get back. There is nothing to talk about." "There is if you stop acting like a child." I almost laughed. Instead, I kept my voice steady. "You left the marriage a long time ago. I am just closing it. You do not get to decide that alone. I already did." Another pause. Longer this time. Then she tried something else. "Who told you something? Is this about work? About Natalie? Because if someone said something, it is about you," I cut in. "Only you." Her voice hardened again. "You are making a mistake." "No," I said. "I have been making one for years." I hung up, blocked the number, set the phone down. That was the last time I gave her a conversation. After that, I moved, not emotionally, practically. First call was to my lawyer, Caleb Pierce. I had met him years ago through a client. Solid, efficient, no wasted words. "Dylan," he said when he picked up. "What is going on?" "I am filing," I said. "And I want it clean. Reason." "Adultery," I said. "And I am not guessing." He paused. "You have evidence." "Working on it," I said. "But I do not need to wait to start." "Good," he said. "Come by tomorrow. We will get ahead of it." Next, I called a locksmith. By the time the day ended, the locks were scheduled to be changed. My accounts were reviewed, and every shared access point was flagged. No speeches, no second chances, just steps. That night, the house was quiet again. But this time, it was not empty. It was clear. The next morning, I was already ahead of it. Caleb had the paperwork started, accounts were flagged, access was tightening. I was not reacting anymore, I was moving first. That is when the doorbell rang. I opened it and saw Elena Brooks standing there, Julia's cousin. Well, we had met a handful of times. She was quiet, observant. The kind of person who noticed things and did not talk unless it mattered. Now she looked like she had already made a decision. "Dylan," she said. "Can I come in?" I stepped aside. She walked in, did not waste time. Looking around, did not make small talk. just reached into her bag and placed a small external drive on the table. You finally did it, she said. Did what? Stop letting her play you. I did not react. What is on that? Everything she said. I studied her for a second. Be specific. Elena nodded once. Julia's been cheating on you for years, not just one guy more. I did not flinch. Names. She met my eyes. The one she is with in Vegas is Adrian Keller, real estate investor. That is not new. They have been meeting up for over a year. That lined up. What else? She exhaled slowly. Before him there was Mark Rivera. Then someone from her company, Daniel Cross. That one overlapped with the others. I picked up the drive but did not plug it in yet. How long have you known? Before your wedding, she said. I tried to tell you once. You did not want to hear it. That sounded right. Why now? Because she crossed a line, Elena said. Vegas was not supposed to happen. She told everyone she was going to reset things with you. Instead, she doubled down. I nodded slightly. And you, I am done covering for her, she said. And I am done watching you get played. I plugged the drive into my laptop. Folders opened up immediately. Photos, messages, hotel confirmations, flight bookings. No guesswork, no interpretation needed. There she was, Julia, smiling, touching, kissing men she told me were colleagues or friends. Vegas was not new, it was just the latest. I closed the laptop. That enough? Elena asked. It is more than enough, I said. She studied me. You okay? I am focused. She gave a small nod. Good, because she is not going to go quietly. I do not need her to. I picked up my phone and sent one message to Caleb. I have proof, full timeline. Prepare for fault-based filing. Then I looked back at Elena. Anything else I should know? She paused, then said, She thinks you will fold when she comes back. I almost smiled. She does not know me. Elena picked up her bag. No, she really does not. That night I went out on purpose. Not to think, not to drink, to get answers. There was a place Julia used to go after work, a restaurant bar downtown. Loud enough to hide conversations, quiet enough to watch people. I had been there a few times with her. That is where her friend Natalie Reed usually was. Natalie knew everything. People like her always did. I walked in, scanned the room once, and found her at the bar. Same posture, same drink, same habit of watching everyone while pretending not to. I took the seat next to her. She turned, saw me, and froze for a second before forcing a smile. Dylan, did not expect to see you here. I am sure you did not, I said. She took a sip of her drink. How are things, Julius, in Vegas, I said. So you tell me. Her expression did not change, but her fingers tightened around the glass. I do not keep track of her schedule. Try again, I said calmly. Natalie exhaled through her nose. Look, I do not want to get involved in whatever you two have going on. You already are, I said. You have been involved for a while. She did not answer. I leaned slightly closer, voice low. Adrian Keller, Mark Rivera, Daniel Cross. Want me to keep going? That got her. Her eyes flicked toward me sharp now. Where did you hear that? Does not matter, I said. What matters is, you have been helping her. That is not hotel bookings under your name, I cut in. Cover stories, last-minute work dinners. You were not subtle. Her jaw tightened. You are making assumptions. No, I said. I am confirming patterns. She stayed quiet. That was enough. You know what is interesting, I continued. She did not tell you everything either. Natalie frowned. What are you talking about? Vegas is not special, I said. It is routine. She has been running this play for years. You just helped her manage it. That is not true, Natalie said quickly. She was trying to figure things out. With 3 men at the same time, I asked. She hesitated. There it was. She told me she was choosing Natalie, said almost to herself. Between you and Adrian. I nodded. Looks like she added options. Natalie stared at her drink. She made it sound different, she said quietly. They always do, I replied. A man approached from behind her then. Tall-built, the type that spent more time in mirrors than work. I recognized him from one of the photos, Daniel Cross. He looked at me, then at Natalie. Everything good here? Yeah, I said before she could answer. We are just clearing things up. His eyes narrowed slightly. You are Dylan. That is right. He stepped closer, testing space. Maybe you should let it go. I did not move. Or what? I asked. Silence stretched for a second. Then he stepped back. Smart decision. I stood up, finished my drink, and looked at Natalie one last time. She is not coming back to fix anything I said. She is coming back to control it. Natalie did not respond. She did not need to. I walked out knowing 2 things. Julia's circle was cracking, and when she came back, she would not be walking into the same situation she left. Julia came back 3 days later. No warning, no call, just showed up. I saw her through the window, first standing outside the house like she still belonged there. Designer suitcase beside her sunglasses on posture straight, like she was walking into a meeting she planned to win. I opened the door before she rang. Dylan, she said like nothing had happened. We need to talk. You need to leave, I said. She smiled slightly. That is not how this works. It is now. She stepped forward anyway, trying to walk past me. I did not move. She stopped. You are being dramatic, she said. Move. No, that word landed heavier than anything I had said before. She took off her sunglasses slowly. Her eyes searched my face, trying to read me. This is not you, she said. You do not shut things down like this. You do not know me as well as you thought, she scoffed. I know you better than anyone. Then you should have known this was coming. That shifted something just a little. She stepped back, crossing her arms. Fine. Let us talk here. Talk, I said. She took a breath. Vegas was not what you think. Then explain it. I needed space, she said. Things between us have not been right for a while. You needed space with Adrian Keller. That hit. Her expression flickered just for a second. I do not know what you think you know. I know enough, I said. Vegas was not new, neither were the others. Her jaw tightened. What others? Mark Rivera, Daniel Cross, I said evenly. Want me to keep going? Silence. Real silence this time. She looked at me differently now, not defensive, calculating. Who told you? She asked. I did not guess, I said. I verified. She shook her head slowly. You went digging. No, I said. You got sloppy. That landed harder. She stepped closer, lowering her voice. Listen to me. Whatever you saw, whatever you think this is, you are blowing it out of proportion. 3 men is not proportion, I said. It is a pattern. Her tone sharpened. You are not perfect either. This is not about me. It is, she snapped. You pushed me away. You stopped paying attention. You made this easy. I held her gaze. You made your choices. Own them. Her breathing changed faster now. Fine, she said. I made mistakes. That does not mean we throw everything away. It does, I said. She laughed once sharp. You are really going through with this. I already have. That is when she tried one last move. Her voice softened. Dylan, we built something real. You do not walk away from that. I stepped aside and pointed toward her suitcase. You already did. Her face hardened. You will regret this, she said. No, I replied. You will. I reached inside, grabbed the suitcase I had already packed with the rest of her things, and set it outside. Take it, I said. The rest gets shipped. You cannot just throw me out. I can, I said. And I just did. She stared at me for a long second. Then she picked up her suitcase. This is not over, she said. I nodded once. For you, maybe. Then I closed the door, locked it, and this time I did not look back. 3 weeks later, Julia made her move. I was sitting in Caleb Pierce's office when he slid a document across the desk. She withdrew $48,000, he said, from a joint account you were not tracking. I shut everything down, I replied. You shut down what you knew about. This one slipped through. She still had access. I looked at the statement. Dates, transfers, clean execution planned. When? I asked. 2 days ago. I leaned back. No surprise, just confirmation. There is more, Caleb added. Say it. She has filed a claim, he said, alleging domestic abuse during your last encounter. I looked up at him. Based on what? I asked. Photos, Caleb said, bruising on her arm. She claims you grabbed her during your separation argument. That did not happen, I said. I believe you, Caleb replied. But that is not the point. The claim complicates things. If it sticks, she can challenge the prenup. I leaned back. The only argument we had after she came back was verbal controlled final. No violence, no physical contact, just me ending it, and her refusing to accept it. She is rewriting that moment, I said, turning a breakup into something it was not. Caleb nodded slightly. That is exactly what she is doing. But we will need to prove intent and timeline. I nodded once. All right, I said. Then we stop reacting. Caleb leaned forward slightly. Meaning she does not get to control the narrative anymore. He studied me. What are you planning? Exposure, I said, not noise precision. I stood up. She wants to lie, I continued. Then we answer with facts. All of them. Caleb did not argue. He just nodded slowly. If you go that route, there is no halfway. I am not interested in halfway. I left his office and made 2 calls. First was Elena. Anything new from her last trip? I asked. Some pieces, she said. Nothing that changes the core file, but I can add them. Added, I said. Keep everything organized and make copies of the full file, everything we already have, plus the updates. There was a pause. You are going public, she said. I am ending it properly. Second call was to Ryan Mitchell. Old friend owned a mid-size event space downtown, the kind of place companies used for networking nights and private gatherings. I need the room on Friday, I said. For what? A presentation. He laughed lightly. You serious? Very, he heard it in my voice. All right, he said. It is yours. Full setup, I added, screen sound controlled access. Done, he said. What is this about? I paused. Truth, I said in the right order. That night, I reviewed everything again. Photos, messages, bookings, no emotion, just structure. Julia thought she could take money, flip the story, and walk away clean. She was wrong. I was not chasing revenge. I was ending it properly. And I was going to do it in a way that could not be rewritten. Friday night, everything was in place. Ryan's venue was already filling up when I arrived. It was not random. The guest list was deliberate. People from Julia's office, a few shared acquaintances, and some of the same circle she had been moving in. Enough overlap to matter. Word spreads fast when something feels important. Julia showed up 10 minutes before I started. I saw her the moment she walked in. Composed, dressed sharp, like she was stepping into control again, but her eyes were searching, calculating. She walked straight up to me. "What is this?" she asked quietly. "Closure," I said. "You invited my coworkers. I invited people who deserve clarity." Her jaw tightened. "You are making a mistake." "No," I said, "I am correcting one." Ryan dimmed the lights slightly. The room settled. I stepped forward. "Thank you for coming," I said. "This will not take long." Julia crossed her arms, watching. I continued. "For the past 6 years, I believed I was in a marriage built on trust. I was wrong." First slide, a simple photo, our wedding day. Then the next, Julia and Adrian Keller in a hotel lobby, timestamp visible. Murmurs started immediately. Julia turned toward me. "Dylan, stop this." I did not respond, just kept going. Next slide. Mark Rivera dinner receipts. Same dates she had told me. She was on work travel. Then Daniel Cross photos from the same restaurant where I had sat alone right before she left for Vegas. The room shifted. People leaned forward. Some stepped back. "This is not speculation," I said calmly. "It is documented." Julia's voice cut in. "You are taking things out of context." "Then explain them," I said without looking at her. She did not. Next slide. Vegas. Her with Adrian again. This time not public. Private suite. Clear. Silence spread across the room. Then I moved to the final part. Bank records. The same person responsible for this, I said, also withdrew $48,000 from a joint account and filed a false claim of abuse. That changed the energy. This was not gossip anymore. It was damage. Julia stepped forward. "You are insane. This is harassment." "No," I said. "It is sequence." I let that sit, then I ended it clean. "That is all I said. You now have the same information I had." Lights came back up. No shouting, no chaos, just distance. People stepped away from her, quietly, instinctively. Julia stood still, looking around, realizing something she had not expected. Control was gone. She looked at me one last time. "You think this wins you something?" I met her eyes. "No," I said. "It ends something." I walked out before she could answer. Did not stay for reactions. Did not need to. It was already done. The next few days moved fast. Julia tried to spin it at first. Claim statements, social media posts that lasted a few hours before disappearing. Too late. The damage was not online anymore. It was in people's heads. Her office went quiet around her. Then distant. Then cold. Aubrey, one of Julia's co-workers who had helped cover parts of her schedule at work, resigned within a week. Adrian Keller's name started surfacing in inquiries once the exposure went public. In real estate, reputation moves faster than facts. Partners started reviewing deals he was tied to. Funding stalled. Negotiations went quiet. I did not need to push it further. Once confidence breaks in that world, everything slows down at once, then stops. Julia tried calling again from different numbers, then emails, then silence. I did not respond to any of it. The divorce proceedings were exactly what Caleb warned me about. She shifted strategy once she realized control was gone. Suddenly, it was not about the affair anymore. It was about damage claims, false accusations, emotional distress attempts to destabilize the prenup. Caleb handled it clean. He did not argue emotion. He argued structure, bank records, messages, timeline consistency. The exposure from that night sealed the credibility gap in my favor. Her abuse claim did not survive scrutiny. The timeline showed escalation on her side first. Her version did not hold up against the documented sequence of events, and the evidence she did not expect to exist filled in the rest. 6 months later, it was finalized. No dramatic courtroom moment. No final confrontation. Just signatures. Julia got what the prenup allowed, and nothing more. The attempt to challenge it collapsed when her own filings contradicted themselves. She walked out of the settlement meeting without looking at me. That was the last time I saw her. After that, everything went quiet in a different way. I sold the house, moved into a smaller place across town somewhere, with no reminders and no echo of someone else's life in the walls. I started training again in the mornings. It became routine, something consistent I could rely on. Some nights, I still thought about how quickly everything had changed. Not the betrayal itself, but the moment it stopped having power over me. That shift was the real ending. Not the exposure, not the divorce. The moment she realized she was not in control anymore, Julia disappeared from the circles we used to share. Last I heard, she left the city, started over somewhere else. Reputation does not die cleanly, but it moves on without you. So did I. There was no victory in it, no celebration, just the absence of something that had been wrong for a long time. And for the first time in years, that absence did not feel like loss. It felt like space. And I finally had room to breathe in it. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Wishing you all the best. Stay healthy and take care.